Boom. Okay, we're recording now. So I'll actually post this to our Facebook page for you guys, and we can actually even use it further in the future, quite possibly our YouTube channel when we get that one finished up. So contract to close is what we're covering today. We meet a seller, whether that was from prospecting or whether it was from a referral. It's typically where we get our clients from. And upon that contact, we transition into having another conversation with them. So let's say I got a referral from a friend that says, hey, I'm thinking about listing my home here in Temecula. Would love to give you the opportunity to earn our business. And so I say, fantastic. What I've got is a pre-qual for the seller that I'm going to have. Now, if you don't already have this, we'll provide this to you as well. But it's a pre-qual the seller phone checklist. Before you go on any listing appointment, I'll say it again. Before you go on any listing appointment, you should have called that seller and gone over some things with them. A couple of the items that are there that I will share with you all now on there. Here we go. Oh, let's open this guy up. I'm going to share the screen with you. Everything's going to work like it's supposed to. And there you guys go. You can see that. Correct? Very good. You kind of know how to work technology over here. The pre-qual the seller checklist is you need to know, first you want to make sure that they're going to be good for the appointment that you're coming over, letting them know that you're excited to come over and to the opportunity to earn their business. There are some questions on here that you just absolutely must ask, okay? One of them is, I like number two, are you planning to interview more than one agent for the job of selling your house? You want to ask that question. Well, wait a minute, I don't want to be in competition. You want to know so that you're prepared. If there is, yes, we're actually going to interview 12 agents. Fantastic, that's great. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to meeting with you. So you know how to prepare of who they're going to be meeting with. You're talking about the motivation for why it is that they are going to be selling out. You're going to ask them if they feel confident with you. Are they willing to sign that day? Absolutely. That you want to ask these questions because it helps you vet. And I shared this in one of our other trainings. Is there was a top producer down in Florida, and he was going on like 36, 37 listing appointments a month, but he was only signing about half of those. And he got burnt out because the competition was so forth that he was struggling with all these people that were wanting a one-day listing and a two-week listing and so on and so forth. So he was asking these questions right up front. And all this we get from Mike Ferry. So this isn't anything that I've created. So he asked these questions, and he got his listing appointments down from like 36 to 38 listing appointments a month to like, I want to say like 22, 23. But his numbers of closings were still the same. So he was still closing, I think it was like 18 or 19. He just went on a whole lot less listing appointments. He just weeded out the garbage that wasn't going to work with him. And that's what you want to do. There's no point in you going and sitting down with someone. If you can weed it out in the very beginning, that's the whole purpose of the pre-qual, the seller phone call interview. All right, you want to know where it is that they're moving to. You want to know how soon they need to be there. You also need to know what would happen if their home didn't sell. All right, what are their plans? Because we have to have plan A, plan B. We anticipate the sale, but what happens if it doesn't sell? You want to know the price that they're not going to go below, right? You want to know how much that they owe on that home because you can't supply them a good net sheet for your listing appointment if you haven't asked the question of how much is owed on that property. Is there a second loan that they've taken out on that property? These questions, and you'll get all of this. Is there an HOA? You need to know if there is, what's the phone number to contact if they don't know, so that you can have that information so you can upload it also into the MLS. Are they up to date on their payments? Then you want them to describe their home to you on a scale from 1 to 10, with a model home being a 10 and 0 being tear it down to start over. What's it look like in their mind? And then what would it take for it to get there so that when you come out, you're already prepared? All right. You ask them, do they have any questions for you prior to you coming out, and you set the appointment. All right. This is imperative, and I will stress to you, do not go on any listing appointments before you have this conversation. All right? Any questions on that portion right there? We're going to jump off of that real quick. I'm going to get you guys back over here where I can see you. Collecting all the information. Once you've gone on your listing appointment, upon leaving, all right, you would have collected name, rather not the listing appointment, but after having that phone call, you would have had their name, their email, their phone number. Of course, you have their address. All right, you're going to, at that point, drop off or email a pre-listing package. In your pre-listing package, Mercy, I should have just kept another screen up here. Hang on a second, I got this one for you too. In your pre-listing package, you want to have a couple things, all right? This is the one that we use. So we'll drop this up on the screen for you guys. We'll share it.
21 na.
Yeah, that's good. Hindi mo kailangan na kita ka nila.
Right. Somebody is not muted, but we're going to go ahead and mute you. Don't worry, we took care of that for you. I've got in here, this is a couple things that I use. You all should be able to see my screen now, correct? Right on. Got some heads nodding over there. This is some information about yourself, all right, and your company. You also, I put in our 21-point marketing plan. This is one of the biggest selling points of what you're going to be doing to get their home sold. The 21-point marketing plan is going to be there as well. Who's going to end up paying for what? That's going to be there, the buyer side and the seller side. The service pledge is there, letting them know that you're there to take care of them from Century 21. That's in your package. I drop in the life of an escrow because they may not have sold a home recently, and familiarizing them with that process. Okay? There's a property questionnaire. Why? Because we need to know information about the property. Do they have a gas stove or is it an electric stove? Because these things need to go into the MLS. So they're going to provide a lot of that information for you right up front before you come to the listing appointment. They'll have this all filled out. There's a pre-inspection checklist so they can get ready to get their home ready for the market. Things, screens that are busted out that need to be fixed, a leaky faucet underneath the sink. These things here is going to go over them to check their home. Then there's also going to be some home staging tips for them there as well. And then, of course, finishing up some moving tips at the end of it there. You print this out or you send it digitally to them, and they're able to prepare, and they see that you're a professional. When you do this, you've had that phone call, you sent this pre-listing package to them, you are already light years ahead of the competition. All right? So just make sure that you have something like that. If you need some help developing something like that, let us know, and we'll help you get that done. I know our marketing team can help, and myself here with training, and any of our managers as well can help you with that. All right? Very good. Looks like we got some, okay. Right on. So there we are with that. So you've done that. You've had the conversation. You dropped off that pre-listing package. Now we're going to talk about the listing, rather one more step doing order a property profile. Because you've talked to them and they've given you some information. Make sure that that information is correct. So at this point, you're going to choose whoever's going to be titled for you. Go ahead. You got your hand up. You can talk.
I just want to say something about the property profiles, and maybe you can clarify or correct me. So I just had an escrow. We have the seller, and when we pulled the information, we only showed one seller, and then found out that it's in a trust and there are two trustees. So then we had to change everything. So when you guys are pulling the property profile, does it actually have the trust name on there so that you know that it's in a trust, or is it still showing the person's name versus the trust? Because that's where I'm coming into problems when you guys represent sellers.
It's something that I'll definitely take a peek at myself. I haven't done one recently with the trust. So, but I do know that is correct, because you got to have the trust. If it's in a trust, you got to have the trust name, and not
so everything we got signed was signed by the wife, and then found out that the husband is a trustee of the trust, and so husband had to go back and sign everything. But yeah, when they pulled when we pulled the real list showed just the wife's name.
You said real list, you said had the wife's name? And that's one thing that's been reiterated. I know from when I very first started, we do not rely on realist. Realist has got some information there for you to kind of peruse through should you choose to, but we're going to definitely want to go through title and to get that information because they're going to have the most accurate information that's available. I know they've revamped Realist, but that's not what we want. Should not be the resource that we're using. All right. So definitely, like she said, they'll go to your title rep, get that information. You want to see who's on title to that property. All right. Definitely get that squared away. After that, you've got to set your listing appointment. Now, a whole lot of things are going to happen on your listing appointment. You want to get as much done as possible at the listing appointment. Paul for Wilkinson taught me very well on this one when I first started in the industry, my listing appointment and what's going to take place. When you go to a home for a listing appointment, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to do a walkthrough of that home without, I'll say it again, without the owner. You do not want them upselling you on their home because that's what they're going to do. Naturally, I installed this, I did that, I did this. You're able to see a little bit more closer, probably some of the defects of the home, which you need to see through the buyer's eyes, what they're going to see. So do a walk through the home when you get there. Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you so much for allowing me to come out and earn your business today. And then say, would you like us to give you a tour of the home? And you're going to say, actually, no, thank you, because I'd like to see the home through the buyer's eyes. Thank you so much. I'll meet you in the kitchen in about 5 minutes. All right. And then just walk through the home. That's what you're supposed to do. You're in control here. If you guide them in that step, they'll follow right along. All right. Don't let them upsell you on the home. You've got your listing presentation. We're not going to spend time on that today. If you don't have a listing presentation, Felipe reiterated this yesterday in our sales meeting. You should be working on a listing presentation because you can't show up with just shooting from your hip. You want to outshine the competition, and you will do that if you follow these steps here. So you're going to go over your listing presentation. In your listing presentation, there are two pieces that must be there. The first piece is going to be your CMA. You would have already done your homework. And after having that conversation with them about their home, you know if there's been upgrades to that home or if there have not been upgrades to that home. You know the condition of that home. So when you're looking at comparables, you already have an idea of what that home's value is, even though you haven't physically been inside the home. That's the reason, again, for the pre-qual, the seller phone call to collect that information. The other thing that you're going to have with you is going to be the net sheet. You should bring with you at least 2 net sheets. They're going to give you the I won't go below this price net sheet. Then you should have a realistic net sheet, okay? And they'll be able to see with the fees that are associated with the work that you're going to do, the title fees, the escrow fees, how much they're going to be able to net at the sale of the home. You can't give them that information if you don't know how much they owe on the home. So that's the other reason why, again, we go back to that first phone call, collecting that information. A net sheet, of course, can be done through escrow. I encourage you. There are apps out there that you can use. First Am is a great one that I use myself. You can get them done just like that. It's got everything detailed out in there. You can add in anything extra that you may want to add in. Something that I would sometimes do is because a lot of buyers are asking for closing costs, you can throw $5,000 in closing costs right into your net sheet so they can see, well, if somebody comes in and asks for closing costs because we see that that's common right now, this is what you're going to walk away with. They can see that you know how to prepare these documents, and it didn't come from Inland Valley Escrow prepared this for you. This came from this agent professional prepared this for you. I understand these numbers and want to explain them to you. So make sure you have 2. I recommend 2 net sheets, a high and a low for your sellers. And you're going to leave that with them for them to have in their records. All right. Now, make sure this is off. There we go. Any questions on anything? Again, just feel free, raise your hand, unmute yourself. If anything that is that I'm sharing that you got questions about. All right. I don't mind taking a break talking. All right. Next up is our listing contract. So after you've gone over your listing presentation, Andrea, go ahead. You've got a question. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Actually, it's kind of going back to the beginning where we started, just the pre-listing package. I was thinking about it, and I really like the way yours looks, and I like how your name and everything is branded on the bottom of it. Marketing team, do you think there's a possibility if you guys got a copy of that, you could brand whichever agents want it? Like, I would love that with like my branding on the bottom of each page.
Yes, ma'am.
Chris? Okay. Is that something that you could email over to us, David?
Oh, definitely.
So we could use that, minus your first page?
At this
Okay.
point, I've realized it's best to share because you guys have got a ton of great information out there as well. And when I see it, I want to ask for it too.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
We'll definitely make sure that you guys get copies. Rebecca, you're taking our, where is she? She was here. I hope she's here. Rebecca's taking attendance. There she is. So she's going to tell me who's here, and we'll make sure that everybody's here gets a copy. Unlike last week, but those who were on last week, don't worry, we got your stuff coming as well. All right. So moving forward, your listing contract. You're going to take your listing contract with you there. You've already got their information, so it should be pre-filled out. The only thing that you're going to be putting in there is going to be the price for that it's going to be listed for and the commissions that's going to be there. Other than that, your listing contract is going to be filled out because you've got all the information that you've collected from your conversation. The other documents that are going to accompany it, and you're going to get all of this done. And I tell you, a listing appointment is 1 to 2 hours. Depending on how long your listing presentation is, you're going to spend a good time with your clients getting everything done up front. Somebody was, I think it was like my second year in, one of the agents was telling me he was really shocked because they submitted an offer, they opened escrow, and immediately they got an email with everything from the seller. Like it was all right there. The TDS, the SPQ, the Avid, it was all complete. And I was like, that's the way it should be done because you can do all your work as a seller's agent right up front, listing agent right up front, and you could almost be pretty much done with the contract, or rather with the process, because you've done everything up front. So you're going to have, of course, what comes in there. There's like 6 documents in your listing, which is your AD, your PRBS, your WFA, of course, the listing agreement, the seller's advisory, and then the CCPA, which is California Consumer Protection Advisory. Those right there are going to be right there. You don't have to do anything except click RLA in your zip forms. But you will also get completed on your listing appointment your SBSA. You're going to get that one done. You're going to take with you the SPQ and the TDS. They can actually fill that out there. I would recommend, say, hey guys, can you take a moment and get this finished while we're here now? And if they say they can't get it done right then, 3 days max. That's all I give them. 3 days, this must come back. You get your hand up. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Please include your Avid as well, because that is counted as your seller disclosures that is supposed to be done within the 7 days. I see a lot of you guys waiting because you procrastinate and you don't want to do it. But you know, you're already walking around the house when you go to the listing appointment. So you should, even if you don't take your Avid with you, take down notes so that you can get that completed, because that does count as one of the disclosures that is due within the 7 days.
You're absolutely right, and that's the next thing we're coming to. Your Avid. Complete it while you're there. There's no reason not to get it done. Again, you're there to do business. This isn't a stop by, half an hour, we're going to be I'm going to be gone. I don't want to bother them too long. You're here to get work done. And it's great when you can go in and spend that 2 hours with them and walk away and be done. They feel great. My agent came in, they got everything done. We can sit back and let them go to work. So get your Avid done while you're there. Some agents, we also require the WCMD. Get your WCMD signed while you're there as well. I am starting to use for myself, because I see it in a lot of other brokerages that use it, is the WHSD. So have them sign that one. The market conditions advisory, I think, is just a good disclosure to use for yourself. So the the MCA, I get that signed as well while I'm there, as well as all of our C21 disclosures. So for the seller, we have to get the seller service pledge. We have to do independently owned and operated. We have to do dual agency, because it may come up that we need that. We also have to do the business affiliated disclosure, and then the environmental hazards booklet receipt. We need that little guy. So go ahead and get all of those signed right there. And you can set this up 2 kinds of ways. You can have the physical ones for them to sign right there, or you can have it already prepared where you can click dot and send a DocuSign right there with them, and they can open up their computers, use your computers, sign everything one time, walk away, you're done. So that's what I would encourage you to do, because now there's no more disclosures that you need to do. When you go to, if you listed that home that day, you got a buyer the next day, you can hit send and everything's ready to rock and roll. All right. So I would encourage you to do that on your listing appointment. All right. The pre-listing inspection worksheet, again, make sure that they've gone over that. If there's any questions that they have, get those answered, see what you need to do to get a handyman or someone in there to get the work done, or if they're going to do it themselves. Now, I put on here the MLS listing data sheet that can also be the same as the property questionnaire. You need to know whether or not it's a gas stove or electric stove, or gas or electric, what do you call it, dryer. You're going to get to the MLS and you're like, oh, what kind of fireplace was that they had? Was it gas or electric? I don't know. Then you need to call them and ask them over the phone. What kind of counters were those in the kitchen? Was it quartz or was it granite? I don't remember. If you collect all that information right up front, you put it on there, it's printed off. There's like 8 or 9 pages when you print that all off from the MLS, but you can print off everything that you need from the MLS, and you can have all of that right there. It's little boxes. You've seen it. You just check those little boxes while you're there, and then when you come back, all you do is input it. If you've got an assistant who's working with you, fantastic. You hand them that sheet, and if they can put it in, off they go, because the information has already been collected. All right? I forget this all the time, so I wrote this down on the checklist. Get keys and alarm codes. Keys and alarm codes. You walk away, oh my goodness, how are we going to get in this place? Got to go back and get keys. When you have that conversation with the pre-qual, you let them know, I'm going to need a copy of the keys. So make sure that that's available to me. So you get there, you have the keys and the alarm code so you can get in. All of that needs to be prepared for you. You got to be able to put that information on the MLS if it's going to be supplied there. All right. As you get the home ready, I use a stager now. The stager that I use is like $250 or something like that for her to come out and do a consultation. Her name is Annette Rogers. All right. She does a great job. Every home that we've listed with her, we've sold in less than 30 days. Now, we haven't always used staging, but she tells them how to lay their home out. I'm not a home stager. I'm not an architect. I don't know. I have an idea because I look at a lot of homes like you do, but she's going to be able to tell you what's going to work best. All right, so if you don't have one, get a stager, someone who can help them stage their home or present their home in a way that is going to showcase it in its best light. All right, so schedule that while you're there at the listing appointment. Termite inspection. I've heard clients tell me, or agents tell me, I don't do a termite inspection because what if they don't ask for it and then my client's gonna have to pay for this work? I have never had a contract where it was not asked for a termite inspection. So maybe you have the one far and few in between. Go ahead and schedule it immediately. Get it done so that they know if there's any work that needs to be done on that property. Make sense? Get it out of the way. Then that's going to be your disclosure that you need to turn over. You already get it done. It costs us what? $85, $90, depending on who you use. They're going to come out. They're going to do an inspection. Boom, you've got that ready to go also for your disclosures. All right? Schedule your photographer. See, there's so many pieces of it. That's right. Got to get the photographer because they're not going to be able to get you pictures the same day. So how soon can we get the photographer in based on when the stager is going to be done with their work so we can get pictures ready for the MLS? You also have to put a sign in the front. So schedule your sign installation and when that's going to be put out there. Also, scheduling your open houses. Talk to them what's going to work best for them for an open house schedule, whether it's going to be during the weeks, the weekends, what they got going on. You got dogs, you got cats, all of these things, and getting that all squared away for their home. That is the bulk of what you need to do. But in doing that up front, now you as the selling agent, the listing agent, can kind of step back. Who paying for staging? That's a great question. I pay for the staging on the ones that I do. I charge a full 3% on all my listings. I don't negotiate that. That's what I charge for the services that we offer. And because I do that, I'm able to take care of that $250 consultation for them. When they start trying to nickel and dime me, so, well, we don't want to pay you. Well, unfortunately, if we start taking away some of what you're paying me, I have to take away some of the services that I'm going to provide. And if I'm not able to do this the way that I know works best, I honestly don't want to take this listing. And be comfortable to walk away from a listing. It's better to walk away from a bad listing than to fight through it sometimes and the headache that it'll come to. I have found also, though, if I had in the past, if I reduced my commission, it always seems like I do twice as much work. That's just the way that it seems to work out for me. When I charge full commission, no matter how hard I'm working, I realize it's okay. I know I'm getting paid for the work that I'm doing. And I know, and you know, that you're providing great service to your clients and you're worth every bit of that money that you're asking for. All right? So go ahead, ask full, get it done, provide that to them. So fantastic question. Thanks for asking that, Praveen. When you're done, make them feel all warm and fuzzy. Send them a note card, give them a phone call. Let them know when you leave your listing appointment, hey guys, want to appreciate the opportunity to have earned your business. You're in great hands. One training that I heard and went to said they like to make the phone call after they leave the listing presentation or appointment. You're on your way home or to the office. They're like, maybe kind of like, do we start, especially if they had 2 or 3 agents that they were trying to decide between, like, oh, do we pick the right one? Make that phone call warm and fuzzy. Hey guys, you're in great hands. Thank you so much. It's a simple phone call. I've used it in the past myself and they love it. Like, okay, fantastic, man. Really appreciate everything you're doing. We know we're going to be taken care of. Upon getting back to the office, now you've got some work that you need to do there. We're going to touch on some things that we covered last week, but these things need to be done on the listing side as well. Dash form, that's where we start. In order for this stuff to get syndicated out anywhere and to be put into Skyscope, you have to fill out your dash form. So fill that out. We get back to finishing the dash form, you've got to put this into the MLS. So take your time, get everything put into the MLS. You should have everything that you need from the listing appointment to be able to input it into the MLS minus the description. But you've got a little bit of time. Do a good job on your description. These are syndicated out everywhere. And a tip that I would give you for your descriptions is detailing out things that you might not necessarily see in pictures. And having that conversation with the seller is going to help you to be able to draw that. Because we know it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Like, that's on the MLS. That's very clear, right? What we don't know is that they have Italian marble imported from wherever, because you can't tell that looking at it from a picture, right? So those details right there is what you want to put in your description of the property. All right? How recently the upgrades were made is something else that you put in the description of the property. You know, it looks nice, but did they do this 5 years ago, or was this done 6 months ago? Because that also can adjust the valuation of the property as well. So take that into consideration when you're writing your descriptions for your property. And if you're having a little bit of challenge of writing descriptions, go read some descriptions. There's some agents that do some really awesome ones, and I grab onto those. I mean, be like, man, you really write a really great description. Copy and paste, guys. It works great. Man, I love the way that they describe that backyard. And you know what? Ours is kind of similar. So I'm going to just kind of take some of those pieces and put it into my description. And when your seller sees it, like, wow, they're like, I want to move into my own house, right? Because you've done such a great job of selling that property through the pictures and, of course, through the description. We talked about photographers, scheduling photographer. I'm just going to say this. I know no one's doing it, but just in case we don't kind of slip a little bit, professional photography. All of us should be using professional photography. Right now, that guy, Robert Gallant, I think is his name, with Matterport. The 3D is something that you can, I would recommend. You know, I would just recommend maybe getting the 3D moving forward. It is fantastic. He charges 10 cents a square foot. It cost me before my other photographer, I was paying him like $250, but that's just pictures. This guy came in and he did a walk. I could walk through that entire home for $150 is all it cost me. And that's better than pictures because people can walk around in the home. They absolutely love it. So especially where we're at now, it's a great way to just upsell, I guess, maybe yourself. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but to provide value more so for your clients to say, this is what we're going to do. So make that a part of your listing presentation with a photographer. And then, of course, the 3D tours. They're great. I know that Joyce used it. I know that Magda used it. I know that Charlene was talking about using it. And I was on a call, a conference call yesterday, and one of the appraisers that was there said he went on the MLS and he has found that 50%, 51% is the number. He said 51% of all listings had 3D tours. So make sure you're standing out with a 3D tour. Right now, people aren't as comfortable to go out and see homes. They're sure comfortable in front of their computers. The average is people are spending 10 hours in front of their computers now. Well, give them something to look at. 3D tours, fantastic. All right. Once we've got everything inputted into the MLS, order your NHD report. Get it done right up front. Doesn't cost anybody anything. Michaela says, I used him as well for my listing. He was super easy to work with and got our tour done in less than an hour. It was small condo and got the virtual and pictures within 24 hours. So There you go. Again, Robert is just, some industries are doing really good because of this, and I would dare to say that his industry is doing really well because of the current crises that we're in our world. Get that NHD ordered over so you can see what's going on with the property. You're going to need that anyway, so go ahead and order it. They're free. They don't cost you anything up front. If the listing falls out, they don't charge you. I use First American. You can use my NHD. There's so many out there. Choose the one that you've been working with and you're comfortable with. Now, maybe you're using this and maybe you're not, but the golden ruler is a wonderful tool, and I use it in my Joyce says that she loved him as well. The appraiser loved the 3D tour also. So those are great because appraisers are actually doing drive-bys, some of these now. Talked about that the other day. But with that information, they can walk right through the home because they're allowed to use third-party pictures and videos now, which they weren't allowed to use before. So go ahead and use that. But the golden ruler. I'm not going to walk you through this, but if you need help, because we've done this in a past training before, but the golden ruler, maybe I should. Yeah, we've got enough time. Let me see if I can walk you guys through this real quick. All right, give me a second to pull it up. Wow. I had a client, and they're really happy. Most of your clients are really happy with you. We set them up with the golden ruler. Golden ruler tells them who's looking at their home and from when. And I guess the first week they had like maybe, I don't know, was it 80 views or something like that? The second week they had like 1,500 views of their property, and it shows them that. And they just called me and said, "We love you. You are the best. Did you see how many views we had on our home? This is great." They don't know that without a tool like the golden ruler. So let me just pull it up on our 21 online. So if you're familiar with 21 online, let's go ahead and share this screen with you guys. This is a selling feature that I use as well. There we go. You should be able to see my screen now. All righty. Just so you know where it is. If you haven't seen this screen, you should be familiar with this screen. Didn't save my contact information. I think I spelled it right. It's free for us, for Century 21. They charge royalties out of every single one of our commissions. And this is some of the stuff that it pays for. So because you're paying for this stuff, you should definitely be taking advantage of it. All right? Eventually our internet's going to work here and we're going to get you in there. World. Oh, well, if it doesn't say Century 21, if it just says Century, it's not going to work. So let's try that again. All right, there we go. Now we're in. You guys, of course, are all very familiar with this. I'm sure if you're not, you should be playing around with this while you're home. I would recommend under menu, top little right-hand corner over here where it says menu. Boom. You go down to, I believe it's the reporting hub. Go to reporting hub. You're gonna scroll right down, and where are you? There he is, right there at the bottom. The golden ruler. When you click on golden ruler, takes you to another site. In here, it's going to tell you what's going on with the listings that you have. It's still loading up here. And you'll go to, I believe it's my reports. And then here, if you've got somebody new, once you've put them in Dash, and that's the important thing with Dash, you can't get this until it's in Dash, because Dash tells the system you have a listing, who those people are, their emails, and all that information. So then you're able to go in under my reports, or rather my listings, where you could go under my listings, and you'd have some information in here, and you'll be able to set that up. And you can set it up to go out weekly. You can schedule it to go out bi-weekly. You can schedule it to go out monthly. All right, so these are the ones that we currently have going on right here. So just to go into my listings, you'll set it up in here, and you're ready to rock and roll. All right, you saw how I got there. So if you have any questions on that one there, let me know. We'll bring it back to you. Just let me know. Is that okay? Any questions on that? I didn't go too fast. Everybody kind of understands where I was going. Again, not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. But his hand is up. Yes, ma'am.
I have stuff to add.
Okay, you got stuff to add. Rebecca would not be right if Rebecca didn't have something to add. So
Oh yeah, I've been taking notes.
go ahead.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of go backtrack a little bit. Regarding the SPQ and TDS, it is your guys' responsibility when you guys get those back from your sellers. Please review them. Make sure the boxes are marked. Make sure when there's yeses that they're explained. I have had agents tell me, oh yeah, I got it, but I didn't look at it. That is your responsibility. So please remember that when you get that back, I too will look at it. And then when it gets gets signed and it gets uploaded, Karina looks at it and she is checking for the same thing. So there are several eyes looking at the SPQ, the TDS, along with all the other stuff, but it will get kicked back if it's not complete. The other thing I wanted to say is when you guys are getting your disclosures ready for your sellers, if you're going to use a template in your zip form, make sure that you are updating your forms when we get updates from CAR. If you are using outdated disclosures, it will get kicked back. So keep that in mind if you plan on using templates. When you take a listing right now, remember that you have to add in the coronavirus amendments or addendum, whatever that thing is that they added for the listing. And then when you guys, if your listing is staying on the market for a while and you have changes to commission, if you have changes to the price, whether it goes up, whether it goes down, if your listing period is about to expire, you have to get a modification of terms. That is how we as the office are notified that the price changed, that the listing got extended out. There are systems that are affected, whether it's Dash or SkySlope. You guys are responsible for the MLS. We don't see those emails that say, hey, you need to do this, or you contacted your seller and your seller's like, I want to lower my price. You have to notify either the office or your TC so that we can update the system. Dash, if it's not going into the MLS right away, don't forget you have to have the exclusion form. And you can get that information on the MLS website as well. I think I got everything.
Fantastic. Thank you for filling up. Definitely on the coronavirus addendums that have been added. You don't want to forget those. The modification terms, thank you for adding that one as well. All right, because you do want to make these things clear and that you're following up with everything that's taking place with the listing, because most of the time it's not cut and dry. Some things adjust and change. So you want to make sure that you're staying abreast as to what's happening with your listing. And Michaela, I see that you typed in this, that you're not recognizing the golden ruler. Can I, how you get that connected? Let's go ahead and give me a call when we get off the training today, and let's see if we can walk you through that to get that answer for you, why it's not populating there for you. All right. All righty. Very good. We're down to the install the lockbox. Make sure you have a lockbox for you guys, for your homes. Put that lockbox on there. You need to know where that's going to be located. That's going to be information that you're going to supply to the MLS as well. Of course, input your seller into your CRM. Don't forget to do this. You want to be able to keep track of these people, so add them there. Once all of this is done, because this is all you on this end right here, at this point, if you have not already had a TC and you work, hire a TC. All right. Get you someone, especially if you're a new agent, I highly encourage you. There's a lot going on in a transaction, as you can see that we've got going on right here, and you haven't even opened escrow yet, right? So hire a TC who's going to be able to make sure that you can get through all of that paperwork and you don't miss anything. And once you're live, call your seller and let them know, hey guys, we're live. Wanted to let you know, you're going to get through Century 21 a unique property website. That's going to take a day or two for it to populate. When it populates, let them know and call them on that as well. So they'll be able to see, because you're going to tell them, I made you a custom website, right? Well, it's great when they can see it, not just hear about it, right? So let them know on their custom website. So call them on that one right there and let them know as well. You don't see that in your notes. I just remembered that one there, so I wanted to let you guys remember that as well on the custom website. Cool. You got a live listing. You're ready to rock and roll. You get an offer. Okay. When you get an offer, you have to remember that the purchase agreement is different from the listing agreement. Listing agreement is 5 pages long with its disclosures. The purchase agreement is 10 pages long with its disclosures. So we're not just going to send over an offer for our clients to sign or to counter or whatever without going over for it at least once. This is the way that I would do it and the way that I recommend it for you. You want to go over that purchase agreement page by page so they understand what they're signing. They understand what's going to take place through escrow. If you counter after that and they reject that offer and you get another offer, you've already gone through it. The only thing that's going to change are the terms. So you can go over those briefly, but I highly encourage you to go over the RPA as well with your sellers, okay? They can accept, they can counter, or they can reject. It's pretty much the 3 options right there for your sellers. Something I want to just make sure that I bring up for you all so that you understand this point as well in regards to offers. If you, as representing a seller, counter an offer, and then you receive another offer, and maybe it's a better offer, you must cancel that other offer prior to it being signed by the buyers, because if they execute the counter offer prior to you accepting another better offer, you are in contract for that other offer. Okay, so if you say we got an offer for 10,000 under, and you know we're just gonna go, we counter. Well, say it was 10,000 under, you counter back, and it was 5,000 under, and then while that counter offer was out there, you got an over asking price offer. You need to be on top of what's going on, so you can say, hey guys, we got an over asking. We need to cancel that other counter offer, send out a multiple counter at that point if you need to, but pull it back. All right. Don't lose money. Don't leave money on the table for your sellers. Just want to throw that point out there for you as well. You're going to accept an offer, and then you're going to open escrow. When you open escrow, there's another dash form. Make sure you get your new dash form done. All right. These little pieces right here, like, oh snap, it happens to me. That's why we're making this. Like, oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot about that little piece. Get your new dash form done. You're going to most likely be using Inland Valley Escrow. I would hope you want to keep it in-house, right? That's going to save you some money right there for your E&O insurance just by using that. So go ahead, sign a new escrow form, send it on over to Inland Valley, get yourselves started over. Soon as you accept your offer, you've already got all your disclosures done. Send them over to the buyer's agent. Boom, everything. You got 7 days to get it done, but in the first day, they've got it in their inbox. Here you go, guys. Let us know if you need anything. Schedule your home inspection and your appraisal. We're done. Okay, remember a couple of these pieces right here, especially if you're a new agent. The buyers have 3 business days to deposit their earnest money. 3 business days for their earnest money. So you accepted the offer on Friday. That's day 0. So Saturday and Sunday are not business days. So they've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By close of business Wednesday is when they need to have that in. All right. Amber says, submit all SkySlope and dash forms to Amber. That's ahays@century21preferred.com. That's where all of your dash forms are going to be going. Make sure that's where you're sending them for the time being while we're going through this right now. Make sure that gets done as well. All right. Let your sellers know, you would have already gone over this in the purchase agreement, that, hey, guys, they've got 17 days to get their work done. Now, when you represent a seller, this is when you start pushing people to get things done. At the end of 17 days, day 17 shows up, send out your contingency removal. Get it done. Protect them. That earnest money can be theirs should they default. Get it in the inbox. Hey, guys, you need to get this signed. Some agents are a little bit more aggressive because you can do this. I didn't put it on here. I'm not the aggressive type like this, but you have this option. You can send a notice to perform 2 days prior. So on the 15th day, you can send a notice to perform for them to complete their contingency removal by day 17. That's kind of like, hey guys, just so you know, you got 2 days to get this done. Because at that point, if they don't, you're protecting your seller, you can cancel. Make sense? There you go. They're going to get that done. Their final loan approval is going to come in at day 21. If that's what you agreed to in the contract, contingency for removal number 2. That's going out. Hey guys, are you ready to rock and roll? If not, we're moving on. We're finding another buyer. This is a hot property. Get that done on day 21. Let them know again, we've got 5 days prior to close of escrow. The buyers should be doing their verification of property. They're going to then sign their loan docs. They're going to fund. They're going to record. They're going to close. I would recommend to you, every seller is different. I just closed one. We were trying to move in. We closed escrow, trying to turn over keys, and the sellers were still there. And like furniture and stuff was still there. Like, what happened here? So you get a little more proactive than we were with this one here. Make sure that they're gone, the sellers are gone, and that the house is clean. Everybody doesn't clean homes the same way. So you may want to, as a closing gift to your client, and especially with everything that's going on now, you may want to pay for or give them the option to pay for to have the home professionally cleaned. Get a cleaning service to come in, get that home all tidied up so they can move in comfortably. They don't have to think, I need to clean up after these people. Who knows what they had, what kind of people that they were, right? Because everybody has a different level for what they consider clean is. So make sure the home is clean and vacant for the buyers when they're moving. It's just something nice that you can do for them. All right. Maybe the buyer side will do it, but like I said, make sure it's done if you can. Rather, you should be. Provide a closing gift of some kind. These people, your clients, just give you the opportunity to work with them. If it's a seller right now, we can't do it. I would typically do dinner. Like that's what was my closing gift. We sit down, we build rapport, we get to know each other a little bit better. They pick where they want to go for dinner, and we sit down and spend an hour or two out having a good time. So that's what I like to do. You can choose whatever's going to be your closing gift. It says right here, what if the home has been on the market for 130 days? Are there any documents that need to be redone? Asking for a friend. What if the home has been on the home? Just repeat it.
I'm gonna chime in on that one. I have seen the TC for either side. If the agents communicate with the other agent, say, hey, my disclosures are dated this day, they will say, oh, we need an addendum if nothing's changed, especially if the property's been vacant. If it's been vacant, there's probably not a lot that's changed, but there could have been maybe a leak that nobody knew about because of rain or whatever. If something's changed, you can do an addendum. I have seen agents refuse and say, no, we want everything redone and we want everything redated. So personally, it comes down to communication with the other side and what they're going to accept.
And help me with this and make sure that I'm not missing any portion here. For how long are our documents good for? So say when I've got my TDS and my SPQ completed, what's the time frame on that?
I've seen them where agents have accepted it 6 months out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've had other files where they won't take them if it's more than a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it comes down to communication. But there's no set thing.
Right. I didn't think there was. Just making sure we weren't missing anything. There's not a set time, but again, like Rebecca said, it goes down to communication. And then as long as everybody's communicating, and if you get those documents redone, then go ahead and get them redone.
That's way after.
All right, I muted you, Becky. We took care of you. All right. Go ahead and get those redone for that buyer. Make sure everybody's feeling warm and fuzzy. It's not a problem to get that taken care of. All right. After closing, this is the same steps that we talked about last week. So I'm just going to reiterate them again. You want to ask your seller for a complete review. I was actually playing around with the real satisfied that goes up for you. And guys, like I found a cool thing that maybe you didn't even know about, because I was trying to get Zillow reviews and the Real Satisfied reviews, because they're two different ones. Real Satisfied will syndicate to Realtor.com. So if you don't have a Realtor.com account, go sign up for a professional, an agent's Realtor.com, because all of your reviews will go there. You can set up everything there, because as people are out looking, you need to be everywhere, right? You need to be on Realtor.com. You need to be on Zillow, all these places, because this is where, you know, the traffic is. And all of those 5-star reviews will be syndicated over. You just click a button under Real Satisfied. All right, let me show that to you guys real quick. All right, let's move this over here. We still should be right over here in our C21.
When you guys are turning in your dash forms, if you're putting your client's email address on there, the admins are supposed to be inputting that into dash, so that way your guys' surveys can go out. If for some reason the email wasn't there, turned in the dash, you could always log on to 21 Online and add it yourself.
That's Anthony. We got him muted. Sorry about that. Cool. Thank you for that. Here it is for Real Satisfied. You guys can see my screen now. I was playing around here just the other day, and like I needed, like I wasn't just playing around and realized that I had some people who didn't actually fill out their reviews. And you're always trying to get as many reviews as you can. So I resent it. And one of them we sold a house last year, filled out 5-star review. It was great. So make sure you're going in here and you're double checking your portal. You get to this the same way you got to the what is it? Golden Ruler. You'll go into the reporting hub, and you'll jump in here under Golden Ruler, and you'll scroll down here. I don't know why it's off. It was on. This guy, he's acting up on me. But you can see there, you click a button and it syndicates everything to Realtor.com. But also where it says encourage reviews right here, boom. If you click this little guy right here, you see I have Zillow on. You can put Google and Facebook on as well. And so I'm not sure how it works just yet. The way that the little video and it showed it to me is while they're doing the Real Satisfied, it'll prompt them to fill out a Zillow review as well. Now you don't want Zillow and Google and Facebook, so I encourage you just to choose one more, because people, if there's too much, they're not going to do anything. But now I can get Zillow reviews through the Real Satisfied reviews. So now it's going to both portals and you're shining. And they've only got to do, because what I was doing was at one point I'd like send out, hey guys, like midway through I heard some agents, midway through the transaction, maybe I'll ask them to do a Zillow, because I know later I'm going to get a Real Satisfied and I don't want to bombard them with too much. So I just found this literally like 2 days ago. So I was like, man, this is great information. So guys, make sure you go in and you set that up. Set up your Realtor.com. You will need your NRDS or whatever that number is. I won't guess. I'll show it to you. You'll need this guy. It's the NRDS number. You need this number right here for your Zillow account. Okay? So you're going to have to copy and paste that when you go to your, not for Zillow, I'm sorry, for your Realtor.com account. You will need that. So go ahead and grab that number, and you're going to paste it when you create your business account for Realtor.com. Your NRDS number is what they're asking for. Again, all of this is very easy to find. It's right here located on your 21 Online portal. So these are great tools that I hope you're taking advantage of, because as you provide great service, you want to be a 5-star agent. And when people see that you have no reviews, you know, when you're looking for that, you know, out to eat or whatever, the plumber or electrician, and you see they've got 2 reviews and it's like, you know, it's 5 stars there, but then there's someone who's got 25 reviews with 5 stars. Who do you typically call? Let's just be honest. You're typically going to call the person with more reviews. So get some reviews, and you can get them there. People will see them on Zillow, Realtor.com, and of course on your own website as well through the Real Satisfied that is provided. So make sure you're doing that right there also. All right, finishing up because it is 11:29 and we want to make sure that we're done. Pretty close to here on time for you guys. Sign up for the preferred client care for your client PCC. That's on 21 Online as well. You can set that up to where they get their monthly mailers, and they get their magazine, and they get all that jazz. You want to follow up a week afterwards. Always give a call afterwards closing, see how everybody's doing. If there's any questions or anything that you missed, make that 1-week phone call afterwards. Everything's closed up to check on them. There is, and I know some agents are using Woofu. You got to pay for that. If you use Google Sheets, or if you use, if you already have an account with like your Microsoft your Microsoft, I use Microsoft Office 365, and you can send, and you know what? I don't know if I can find it. We practiced with it just the other day, and you're able to send a little survey right through, it was too much. Invite. I don't believe I saved here, guys. I've been playing around with a lot of stuff over this time that we've had, and so I thought it was Monday. Nope, I don't see it. I won't. You're able to send out a survey, and you can put in the questions, and they can fill out. They get a text to their phone, and it's super, super easy. It's right there on their phone, and it says, you know, give me, if you don't already have this, their birthday, their anniversary, their children's ages and their birthdays, their pets' names, their favorite hobby, their favorite drink, their favorite sport teams, their 3 to 5 top favorite restaurants, their hobbies or their favorite places to shop. Collect all that information. It's content for conversations moving forward and how you can, you know, gift them if you want to, if you're doing a pop by of some nature. And it's cool. So if you want more information, you just got to just hit me back. And I'll try and help you guys out with that. Again, we're using Woofoo. You have to pay for. You can only put like 10 items in a Woofoo. You got to pay, and after that you have to pay. My wife, she's a guru on all this stuff. Apparently, Google Sheets is #1. What we're using, Microsoft 365 is #2. Woofoo is actually #3 on the list, guys. So we're actually providing even some better stuff. Like I said, I pay, I think $70 a year for Microsoft on my computer, and so I've got Outlook and I've got Word and I've got Excel and all of those. And this is just a part of it. It's Google. It's Microsoft Sheets. So I'm able to use that, create this. My wife went ahead, she made it for me, and we spit it right out. And I played around with it, and I did it for myself. And then boom, it comes back, and you can put it into a spreadsheet. You can have someone input that into your CRM. So it's a great way for you to reach out to your client, collect a little bit of information about them, and then build into your CRM and understanding a little bit more, getting to know them better. Because again, you're going to be asking for referrals, and you want to be. These are your friends now. This is not a transaction closed and done. We've learned that's not the way to do business. So I encourage you to be asking for those referrals, having those conversations. Do a quarterly or a semi-annual pop by. Say hello. Let them remember that you're still in business. Businesses go out of business all the time. People change all the time. I talked to one of my clients who we sold his house. They moved to Chicago. I talked to him earlier this week, and he said, yeah, we met this other agent, and we went to his house and we had dinner. We were going to buy a house, and then he disappeared. We don't know where he is. He's not answering the phone in his office. The guy's gone. So people might think, if they lost your number, that you're out of business. So make sure that you stay top of mind by reaching out to those past clients. That's all I've got for today. I hope you found value here with everything that we've shared. Is there any questions, anything that we've covered, anything that I can help you guys with as we're wrapping up? It's pretty quiet. Everybody seems to be good. I got one new message today. Just a bunch of thank yous. You're very welcome, guys. You're very welcome indeed.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Okay, so as far as asking for the reviews on Real Satisfied, what if we ask for the review on Zap? Because that's how I've been doing it.
I don't send out my reviews, so that would actually be a new thing for me for the Zap. I wait for Real Satisfied to populate it on its own. So let's go ahead and you can actually kind of show me that, because again, I've never used the Zap to ask for a review. I let Real Satisfied do the thing. It's typically 3 to 5 days after we close is when I'll get an email that tells me that they've sent it out, or that the email address that they have is not working, and so I just need to confirm it, and then it gets sent out, and then I just send them a text and say, hey, make sure you check your email because we sent the review, or you make a phone call, either or. That's the way that I've been doing it. Didn't even know there was an option in Zap, so I'm actually anxious to see that portion as well.
Yeah, I ask for reviews, and then it populates on that Century 21 website that we have through the company.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never done it the Real Satisfied way. I don't even know if I have any of those.
Those should be populating automatically, because what it does is once everything's put into Dash, it's going to grab the email address that's been associated with it, and then it's going to send it to that email address and says, hey, you know, Andrea, you guys just closed on your home. Fantastic.
Okay.
Please send her a review. And they're going to get that little thing. They're going to fill it all out. And then it's going to send a message to you, say, congratulations, you've got a review. And then you can choose at that point if you want to post that review to one of your social media platforms. Like for me, I just click yes, and then it actually sends it to my my business page of what that review is.
Okay.
All right, whatever they said about it. I mean, it looks like, well, I'll show you one real quick. Maybe you've seen these on some of the other agents. Go ahead. Some of the other agents' social media platforms, but it looks like this right here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that posts directly to my my social media. And so boom, there it is. So then it's advertising for you that way as well once the review is complete. So yeah.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
definitely the Zap one, I'd actually like to know more about that, how you're sending those, because I've never used that way. And so I'm anxious to always learn, you know, because maybe you can send that earlier as opposed to waiting for, because you can choose when you send that, whereas Real Satisfied, I'm
You
not.
can send it whenever. Mhm.
Right,
I
I'm
always
not
send it the
choosing.
day I close.
There you go. So that's an
Okay.
option as well. And that should be integrated with Real Satisfied through some way, because everything in Real Satisfied is going to your website as well. So it
Okay.
should be one and the same. It's just you're taking the controls through the Zap platform.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Amber says it will be automatic as long as you fill out all the forms on the dash form and Sky Slope. It'll be automatic. Okay, but if you want to, like Andrea has shared with us now, you can expedite that and get it done at when you want it to be done by going through your Zap. Again, I've never gone through that, so I'll definitely be playing around with that today, taking a peek. And so I would encourage you to do the same. Any other questions before we let you guys go? Fantastic. Everybody have a great rest of your week. It's Thursday. It's still time to get out there and get some new business. Hey, we got a hand. Is that a hand? Is that Ellen?
And bye.
Oh, you're saying bye. All righty, for sure. All righty then. Have a great rest of your week, you guys. Thanks for coming out. Again, hope you found value. These that we talked about today, these are going to be actual forms that are completed. We're sending those out for the office, so look for those. And Rebecca, you've got my my list. Thank you. All right.